Hello, English learners. Welcome to my channel. Are you ready to level up your English? Part 1. Trip to Japan.
Welcome to the deep dive. So today, we're setting our sights on Japan.
Mhm.
It's a country that sparks so much curiosity for so many people. I bet you've wondered what it's actually like to step into that kind of unique culture.
Oh, absolutely. Japan really captures the imagination, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got this amazing mix of like ancient traditions and super modern tech. It feels familiar and completely new all at once.
Exactly. Now, for this deep dive, let's call them sources, they're really about getting a first feel for it. Think of it as a friendly introduction, kind
Yeah.
of designed to make the whole idea of maybe visiting Japan feel, exciting, but also doable right from the get-go.
Yeah. And our mission here is pretty straightforward, really.
Yeah.
We want to pull out those key, simple insights about what visiting Japan is like.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough to spark your curiosity, maybe give you a basic framework for understanding what a trip might actually involve.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. When you think about a first trip to Japan, what are the immediate things that pop into your head? Maybe even worries. It can seem, well, very different.
It's true. The unknown can feel a little intimidating. The language, the customs, just figuring out daily life.
Right.
But what's pretty amazing is how manageable it often turns out to be, and incredibly rewarding, even if you've only done some basic prep. What really stands out, I think, is the efficiency. Like, just look at their public transport.
Yes, this is where it gets genuinely interesting, I find. It's not just efficient, it's an experience. That punctuality is, well, it's legendary, isn't it?
Totally.
And how connected everything is, the train lines, even getting to more rural spots with maybe just one or two transfers. It really shows you their level of planning. It's meticulous.
Precisely. And that efficiency, it pops up elsewhere too. Think about ordering food. So many places have these super clear picture menus or even touchscreen kiosks.
Oh, yeah, the kiosks,
Oh.
often with multiple languages, too.
Exactly. Just smooth things out for visitors, makes it much less daunting.
And it's not just the systems, is it? It's also the people. There's a level of politeness, a willingness to help that feels quite distinct.
Yeah.
Even if your Japanese is, non-existent or very basic, you'll often find people really try to help you out, go the extra mile. That
Yeah.
sort of inherent respect. What do they call it? Omotenashi.
That's the one, onotenashi. And what's fascinating is how that cultural value really adds to this feeling of being, well, looked after,
Mm-hmm.
supported, even when you're clearly out of your element in a new place.
Yeah.
It's more than just like good customer service.
Yeah.
It feels more like a genuine wish to make guests feel welcome and comfortable.
So it's maybe less about needing to memorize every single custom or phrase before you go,
Right.
and more about just being open to these new experiences. Even the subtle things, like the incredible care they take with presentation, even for something simple like a lunchbox, a bento box.
Yeah, the detail. And if we zoom out a bit,
Mm-hmm.
this kind of initial look highlights something important, I think. Experiencing a different culture doesn't need to be this massive, scary hurdle.
Hmm.
It can start just by being present, by noticing these everyday details, these interactions. Which kind of raises a question for you, the listener. What part of it grabs your interest first? Is it the calm of a temple garden? Or maybe the crazy energy of a Tokyo street crossing?
Or the food.
Or the food, absolutely. The artistry, the cuisine. There's so much.
So what's the bottom line here? I guess fundamentally, visiting Japan offers this really unique blend. It's new, it's different, but it's also surprisingly accessible in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And this first glance shows you don't need to be some kind of expert to start experiencing it.
Exactly. The key takeaway, really, is that even starting with the basics, Japan opens up this rich world of experiences that are actually quite easy to engage with. It's about embracing that journey, that discovery.
Right. So as you think about all this, maybe just consider what's the one single aspect of Japanese culture or daily life that intrigues you the most right now.
This elementary glimpse is really just a starting point.
Yeah,
We'd encourage you to explore whatever sparks your interest further.
definitely worth doing. Thanks for diving in with us today.
Part 2. Favorite Japanese food.
Hey, you! So following up on our Japan trip deep dive, we know the food over there really got you thinking.
Yeah, definitely seemed to strike a chord.
So for this one, we thought we'd narrow down a bit. Think about your absolute favorite Japanese food.
Well, the request we got was pretty simple. Make a podcast about my favorite food in Japan.
Right. No specific dish mentioned, which actually is kind of interesting.
It is. It got us thinking, okay, even without knowing the specific one, we can still talk about some of the real highlights, the kind of dishes that people really fall in love with.
Exactly. Maybe we'll even hit on something you hadn't quite pinned down as your number one. So think of this as a focused food exploration.
Sounds good. Where should we start? The absolute foundation.
Yeah, maybe with rice. It seems so fundamental.
Oh, absolutely. Rice in Japan it's more than just food, isn't it? There's a real reverence for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it's prepared, like perfectly steamed plain rice versus the seasoned rice for sushi. Worlds apart.
Totally. And you mentioned sushi. That has got to be high on the list for a lot of people's favorite.
For sure. It's beautiful to look at. It's all about that freshness.
And it's so varied, from simple nigiri, just the fish on rice, to those really complex rolls.
Right. And the regional differences are huge, too.
Why is that, do you think? With sushi specifically.
Well, it really boils down to what's caught locally. Like, you go up north to Hokkaido,
Okay.
and the cold water there means you get an amazing sea urchin, uni, super sweet and creamy. That's going to feature heavily in their sushi.
Ah, I see. So it's different from, say, tuna you might get further south.
Exactly. That local connection is key. It really showcases the best of what's right there.
That makes total sense. And speaking of regions, ramen, another huge one.
Oh, yeah. That bowl of noodles and broth, it changes so much depending on where you are.
Like what? What are the big divides?
Well, think about Hakata style that's down south with its really rich pork bone broth, tonkatsu.
Right, milky looking.
Yeah. Compare that to Sapporo, way up north again, famous for its miso ramen. Savory uses fermented soybean paste.
Both ramen, but completely different vibes.
Totally different experiences. It just shows how local tastes shape everything.
It really does. Okay, what about something like tempura?
Ah, tempura, that light, crispy batter.
Yeah. Seems simple, but getting it right, tricky.
It is. What's cool about tempura is that the whole point is to highlight the ingredient, not hide it.
How so?
Well, the batter is super light, and it's fried really quickly, so the oil doesn't soak in and overpower the, say, delicate flavor of a shrimp or piece of sweet potato.
Right, it's enhancing it, not masking it, respecting the ingredient.
Exactly, respecting the quality. That's a big theme, actually.
So we've touched on rice as the base, the regional side of sushi and ramen, the technique in tempura. There's a pattern here, isn't there?
Definitely. It kind of circles back to the principles of Washoku, traditional Japanese cuisine.
Oshoku, right.
Yeah.
What does that involve again?
It emphasizes things like balance, harmony in the meal, using seasonal ingredients, and, like we said, that deep respect for the natural flavors.
So it's a whole philosophy behind the cooking.
Yeah, pretty much. It underpins why Japanese food often feels so special, so considered.
Okay, so wrapping this up then. This little food journey was sparked by your interest after the Japan trip talk.
Yep. We covered rice, looked at regional stars like sushi and ramen, appreciated tempura.
And touched on that whole washoku idea. Hopefully it gave you a broader taste, maybe beyond just one single dish you had in mind.
Or maybe reinforced why your favorite is your favorite.
True. Which brings us to a final thought for you. Thinking about all these amazing flavors and traditions we just skimmed, what actually makes a dish your favorite?
Is it purely the taste? Or maybe a memory attached to it, that regional uniqueness we talk about?
Or maybe how carefully the ingredients are treated. Something to ponder, perhaps. We definitely encourage you to keep exploring the incredible world of Japanese food.